yes, of course, there was Russian intervention or attempts at intervention, but they also found that there was a lot of Israeli intervention in the elections. And they very quickly were like, oh, never mind. Let's not look into that direction at all. Communism. You like the weekend? Thank a union for that. Thank some communists for that, okay? Where is it? Last part of the Epstein saga that I want to dive into briefly, we can get back to it in a little bit, is, of course, this aspect. Murdoch-owned New York Post puts on Facebook a story teasing that Epstein was a foreign agent for Russia law. They didn't turn off the comments, and, well, no one in the massive comment section was buying it. Okay? Telegraph did this as well. Poland to examine the increasingly likely possibility that pedophilia scandal was co-organized by intelligence services in Moscow. Okay? Best part of Russiagate 2, the Israel obfuscation, is that no one buys this theory. If no one buys this theory, it means that there's a good chance Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Bill Richardson. Oh, sorry. If one buys this theory, it means that there's a good chance Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Bill Richardson, Reid Hoffman, and other prominent Democrats are all compromised by compromat or whatever, creating a double reverse Russiagate. Like, they can't say it's Israel for some reason. I wonder why, right? So they have to obfuscate and claim it's Russia. But if it's Russia, then all of these prominent Democrats that are Epstein affiliates are all Russian agents or have been compromised by Russia. You can't have it both ways. The Russiagators are going to collapse in on themselves until we end up with Putin building compromise on the whole world, thus liberating our liberal class from any meaningful power analysis or introspection. In the end, everyone will get off the hook, even Putin. This is a good way to formulate it. The problem with Russiagate and Russia Anglo Epstein's isn't that they are wrong, but they are way, way too narrow. These are scandals of global oligarchy, of which the Russian component is but a subset. Yeah, both the Epstein scandal and Russiagate are about a sphere of elite impunity where American consultants, Russian oligarchs, Saudi princes, European politicians, Israeli intelligence figures, and British ex-spies all swim. This is silly, I'm sorry. His contact with Russia was limited, largely on behalf of Israel, and mostly pre-2014 invasion of Crimea when Russia was not non grata. There's overlap, but there's also distinct spheres of influence, and flattening into global oligarchy obscures this. His Israeli and U.S. contacts are 100 times more than his Russian ones. It's not even close, and boosting the latter obviously serves to obscure the former. That's precisely the reason why they're doing it, by the way. The reason why they're doing this, like, oh, there's a real Russian component to this investigation from Poland, but onward, is because they don't want to say Israel. And they think, oh, well, this way we can tie it and obfuscate the Israeli intelligence angle, and we can tie it to a foreign adversary that everyone can unconditionally get behind fighting against. Okay? That's it. It's totally, nakedly, brazenly a distractionary technique. They're just trying to deflect away from the main point of contention here. And it's ironic because many people, either for like illegitimate and somewhat anti-Semitic reasons, or for the overwhelming majority, very legitimate and very, because they're capable of critical thinking, reasons such as that, it's Israel. Okay? That's it. It's so fucking ridiculous. It makes no sense. Like, which one do you think is more prominent a fixture in Epstein's in Epstein's relationship with foreign with foreign spying with foreign intelligence agencies, Russia or Israel? Oh, maybe it's China. Yeah, exactly.
Suspicions are growing and action is now being taken. For Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, the latest information...
It's ironic because this reminds me of the Russiagate investigation that was conducted initially. As you guys know, I was never big on the Russiagate stuff regardless. Although I did think that there was definitely enough evidence that Russia was meddling in the affairs of the U.S. election, as, you know, great powers do. The ways in which the Democrats coped with the Hillary Clinton defeat was to tie everything back to Russia, right? They abso-fucking-lutely went above and beyond tying anything and everything back to Russia and Russian interference. It was ridiculous because it was a way to not do the proper autopsy of why Hillary Clinton had lost the election, right? Now, In the process of doing this Russiagate investigation, what they actually uncovered was that, yes, of course, there was Russian intervention or attempts at intervention, but they also found that there was a lot of Israeli intervention in the elections. And they very quickly were like, oh, never mind. Let's not look into that direction at all. And it's happening again. But this time, they are using the Russiagate angle, the Russian interference, Russian agent angle, as a way to obfuscate from something that every single person with like 2 working brain cells can comprehend. It's very interesting. Russiagate was top-down, manufactured by one powerful faction of the U.S. elite to cripple a rival faction. A daily stream of spy agency leaks to friendly media. The narrative was one side is evil, one side is good, whereas the Epstein scandal implicates the entire ruling class. Exactly. I don't understand. Everyone knew. Everyone was involved. You had so much backup. How did Epstein even get behind bars? Alexander Acosta. Alexander Acosta unceremoniously became Trump's labor secretary. And Julie K. Brown and the Miami Herald investigated Alexander Acosta's background because it was a name that they remembered from the 2008 Jeffrey Epstein court case. Alexander Acosta was the prosecutor that gave Jeffrey Epstein this insane sweetheart plea bargain. One that allowed him, regardless of his, regardless of the nature of his crimes, one that allowed him to leave prison on a fucking worker structure. I forget what it's called, but like, it was unheard of. There's never been a moment where someone who got their sex trafficking of minor charges reduced to trying to solicit prostitutes that were literally children, by the way, but they made it seem like he was just trying to solicit. I guess they did say, yeah, work release. Thank you. A work release program. There is no world where you get to get a work release program if you're a pedophile. Okay. There's no world where you get your sentence reduced as much as Jeffrey Epstein did. And there's certainly no world where you get put on work release as a pedophile. At most, if you are a pedophile in prison, they will put you away from Gen Pop, because if you're in Gen Pop, they will kill you, right? So you're kept under close watch. There is no world where you get work release as a pedophile as you are carrying out your sentence. Like, it's unheard of, dude. It's like getting a work release as a serial killer, okay?
Included in the release of over 3 million files adds to concerns that the Epstein pedophilia scandal was co-organized by Russian intelligence.
Anyway, Julie K. Brown conducts this investigation with Miami Herald, going back to the Epstein files. It becomes viral, and then it becomes such a major issue that the Trump administration has to address it. The Department of Justice, not the Department of Justice, but the Southern District of New York reopens the Jeffrey Epstein case, take a closer look at it. And they arrest him, obviously, because there's a lot of fucking evidence that he has continued his conduct. And they take all of his data from his New York mansion, his New York residence, and then he dies under the watch of Bill Barr in a federal prison. The same federal prison that Luigi Mangione and Maduro are in right now.
This has pushed the Prime Minister to ask for a probe to be conducted into Epstein's possible links with Russia's secret services, as well as to Tusk's.
I was in work release for heroin addiction in like 2012, and I'm very sorry to tell you that you are very wrong about this. You get work release for pedophilia? It's child endangerment. I mean, I know the criminal justice system is very bad at work release, but he didn't spend most of his prison sentence in. Chomos get work release and into halfway houses all the time. Chatter. He literally was just sleeping at the prison. Like, every day he was able to go back to his fucking mansion. You're talking about being released into a halfway house. He was not released into a halfway house. He didn't check in at a serious job site either. Oh, he didn't die in the same prison as Luigi? I'm aware he's a different case. I'm just saying it's not unheard of.
Country.
A
growing number of commentators and experts assume that it is highly probable that this was a premeditated operation by the Russian KGB. This so-called honey trap set for the elites of the Western world, primarily the United States. This can only mean that they also possess compromising material against many leaders still active today.
Suspicions that are fueled by the release of emails showing the lengths Epstein and his associates went to recruit young Russian women, with documents including requests to book flights from Moscow to Paris and to New York. A honey trap designed to blackmail the global elite. Vladimir Putin is named over 1,000 times.
Epstein died in Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. Luigi and Maduro at MDC Brooklyn. Sorry. I'm wrong. I apologize. It's MCC, not MDC. You're right.
In the latest documents, exchanges discuss appointments to come between Epstein and the Russian president, including after Epstein was convicted of procuring a child for prostitution. Previous emails also appeared to show Epstein offering advice to politicians on how to deal with Donald Trump. The question as to whether he was working for secret services isn't a new one. For years, some have suggested Epstein was in fact working for Israel's Mossad. Donald Tusk said that he would encourage others to pursue an international investigation.
I like that the entire video is about connections to KGB, and then there's like a brief moment where they revealed a Mossad angle. Nice.